Some business advice that's blindingly obvious once you know it. The second email that you send to potential customers and clients is the most important email that you'll ever send. Now, I'm filming this video because a guy called Neil reached out. He wants some help writing what he called an introduction email. Now, the first three emails that you will send are the promise, the welcome, and then the offer. The promise delivers on the promise that you made. If someone opts in for your free resource, something like that. The second one, Neil calls an introduction email. We call it the welcome. And the third email is the offer. The third email, you make an offer because you want to let your potential customer or client know that you are commercial. You're in this for business reasons. But this second email, the welcome, which Neil calls an introduction, he wants to make it about the customer or client. He says, what can I write that's going to make it a little bit more what's in it for them? Here's the freaky thing about this email. It can be about you. Almost entirely about you. The purpose of the second email is to be that little bit more memorable, because the number one reason why people opt out of email sequences and newsletters is that they just can't remember opting in, or they don't care enough about the person to stick around. So the first email, the promise, is to deliver on the promise. The second email is to tell your story, and the third one is to be commercial. So reliable, memorable, commercial. So when it comes to this second email, the welcome email, guess what, Neil? You can write about yourself, and I highly encourage that you do so. Make it a longer email and tell your new potential customer or client a little bit about your background, your history. Tell them your story. Number one, make a confession. Make a confession that highlights your authentic connection to the problem. So you might, for example, say, once upon a time, I was, this is embarrassing, but, and then reveal something about yourself that is probably going to be likely to reflect a problem that they're facing right now. So for example, I might confess that I'm a technophobe. I'm a reformed technophobe, even though everything that I do is now about technology. So number one, make a confession. Number two, share your why. Do you want to know why I do what it is that I do? If you're not sure what I'm talking about there, read the book by Simon Sinek. I think it's called The Power of Why. But the third one is my favorite. Just write this sentence. Do you know what frickin' does my head in? Do you know what frickin' does my head in? And then share a tip or a piece of advice that highlights a common industry sin. What are other people in your space doing that drives other people nuts? Do you know what frickin' does my head in? Share an industry sin. You're going to be talking to the needs of the customer or client. You're going to be telling your story, and you're going to be setting yourself as someone that's a little bit different to all the rest. Now, if you want to see an example of one of my welcome emails, here's a screen grab on the screen right now. This is one of many that we've run over the years. Or alternatively, you can hit the link in my bio, subscribe to our email newsletter, and typically the second email that you will get from us will be my welcome email.